Most men go into this with the hope of curing their crippling insecurities. Now, instead of looking internally or seeking professional help from a therapist like some loser, the answer is to become a genetic anomaly amongst men, a mutated mass of inflammation and protein farts. So what actually is bodybuilding? Bodybuilding is having as much muscle as humanly possible while having the least amount of fat humanly possible. It's standing on a stage tanned, oiled, in a G-string, trying to get the validation from other men who are also tanned, oiled, and in G-strings. It's about having the best Instagram photos and showing people at family events how good your leg pump was yesterday. It's making TikTok edits of yourself, spending hours finding the perfect looks max in audio. In bodybuilding, you're going to be in one of these two phases. You're either going to be massively overeating or massively undereating. And if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to be paying some overpriced coach to tell you what you are and aren't allowed to eat and basically baby feed you while sending them half-naked photos and then telling you how much of a piece of shit you are for saying that you're hungry. To determine what kind of body type you have, you're going to be measuring off two things: your muscle mass and your fat percentage. So I've wrote up this chart here to show you what kind of body types there are as we go along the chart. So if you have a body type that is low body fat, low muscle mass, you are by definition a scrawn. As we go up this side of the chart, as the fat percentage increases, we're going to go from scrawn to skinny fat to then morbidly obese. And then as we go along the muscle mass spectrum of the scale, things start to change up a little bit. Along the bottom of the chart, you've got the sort of built look. This is kind of like your Spider-Man. And then as you go up, you've got your average body type, so some muscle, some fat. And at the top, you've got Big John, Bash. As muscle mass continues to increase, then you're going from built to dad bod to Santa Claus. And then this is where things start getting interesting because you're going past what the norm is. You're surpassing normality. This is kind of the section where you might need some kind of performance enhancers to get you into this zone. Starting with bodybuilder to then bulky. This is more like a bodybuilder off season. And then at the top, you've got your construction workers. These guys are big and strong, but they also drink about 10 pints a day and then eat a diet of pies. So that's why they're at the top. Now the last two columns are where things start to get a little bit freaky. So this is going to be your mass monsters. Think of people like Nick Walker, for example, just specimens. Then we're going up to your powerlifters, so think Thor or Eddie Hall. And then if we go up even more on the body fat scale, you're looking at a level 100 mob boss. Now this final column, you're going to need some performance enhancers to get there. And not only that, you're going to need genetics gifted from God himself. We have the what the fuck column. This is somebody who's completely maxed out their stats on muscle and has no body fat whatsoever. You want to stay the fuck away from this person. Going up, we've got the big boy. This is going to be your column of genetic anomalies. People who are just so gargantuanly massive, but aren't at the level of a competitive bodybuilder. And at the very top, we've got the peak human being. This is somebody who surpasses the laws of physics. A human being that defies the laws of nature. And of course, I'm talking about Kairos Grizzly. So now you've got a better understanding of what bodybuilding is and what the different body types are. You're probably asking yourself, how do I become this? So to start with, you're going to have to start training. First of all, you're going to have to choose a training split that matches the body type that you're trying to achieve. Many different kinds of training are going to yield varying results. For example, you've got compound lifting, progressive overload, HIIT training, you've got cardio, high volume training, low volume training. Once you've chosen this and you've selected a workout split that's going to be most effective for your desired goals, we're then moving on to nutrition. As we all know, to gain weight, you have to eat more food. To lose weight, you have to eat less food. And these are what's known as your bulking and cutting phases. These phases have their varying pros and cons, which we're going to go through right now. Starting with bulking, the pros are, of course, you can eat a lot of food. You're also going to have a lot more energy when doing this. And it's during this bulking phase, you're going to be growing, so you're going to get a lot bigger. Now the cons of this are, you're likely to get fat. It's also likely other people are going to tell you you look fat, which is going to lead on to crippling body dysmorphia. Now moving on to cutting. First pro, of course, you shredded. Now if you've started the lengthy and grueling process of trying to cut down and lose body weight, you'll realise quite quickly that the women that you were originally trying to chase are not interested. You now have the attention of men who are oiled up and tanned. Male attention. Another pro is you're eating less now. So you're going to be spending a hell of a lot less on your grocery bills. Save money. And finally, the cons of cutting. With this lack of body fat, especially if you live in a colder climate like myself, you're going to be very cold all the time. Now when you're cutting, you might look good, but you feel absolutely awful. And not only that, you're absolutely fucking starving. And of course, the body dysmorphia when you get to this stage doesn't go away. You thought that being shredded was going to make you feel better because you're so confident in how you look now. Well, you couldn't be further from the truth. Now you feel weak, scrawny, and to top it off, you feel awful. So once you've got your training right, your nutrition right, you've decided what body type you're going for, and you've went through a few phases of bulking and cutting, you will finally be a bodybuilder. But unfortunately, it'll never be enough, and you're always going to feel small. No matter what phase you're in, you're just going to be fluctuating from morbidly obese to then stick thin, and then back to the middle again, and it's just back and forth. It's a constant cycle of suffering, only to feel worse and worse. So this is the point where you approach the large men behind the gym who are offering free vaccinations. What are the benefits of taking steroids, and will it finally make you satisfied with the way you look? Firstly, let's address what these steroids will actually do for you. Number one, get massive. May also lead to moods of euphoria. That's of course only when you've got a pump. To be honest, this is all I can actually think of. Get massive, feel like a god. These are the only benefits to taking these steroids. So what are the side effects? These kind of compounds are going to lead to a varying array of moods, the most common of which is of course roid rage. You may also experience mood swings, bouts of anxiety, depression, stress, paranoia, schizophrenia, along with peeking outside the window at night with a kitchen knife. Taking things like testosterone are going to affect your sex hormones massively. One of the major side effects is increased sex drive, so you're going to be like a dog in heat most of the time. And if you don't have an outlet for this, you're going to become quite a dangerous and irritating person to be around. Also, as a result of taking testosterone, it's going to cause ball atrophy. As a result of this, it's actually going to make your Johnson look bigger. So this could be a pro. Aside from larger biceps, schizophrenia, and a slightly larger looking member, is it really worth taking these kind of supplements? At the end of the day, bodybuilding isn't about the stage. It's not about the oil or the Instagram photos. It's really about taking control of your body and pushing yourself to the extremes, just like any other sport. So after years of training, eating, being shouted at in your underwear, and injecting enough steroids to tranquilize an elephant, you'll stand on that stage with the lights beaming down on you, flexing your arse cheeks, and you'll finally realize that your crippling insecurities are still there. But hey, at least you've got veins now. If you've taken anything away from today's video, it's that if you want to embark on this quest of bodybuilding, seek help, professional help. And if you're still interested in doing it, feel free to rewatch this video as many times as you need. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.